Hello, one and all, and welcome to the latest edition of Tunes and Talk. If you've been here before, you know how this works, but for the uninitiated, let me explain. My name is Jason, and I love to sing, and this is my tiny studio apartment's even tinier bathroom that I MacGyverly transform into a little recording studio about once every couple of weeks to bring you 10 songs and a lot of idle prattle and chatter, because that's just the kind of guy I am. I tend to think in a non-stop stream of consciousness, and it tends to make its way out of my mouth sometimes too. So today's edition is all about the 80s. 80s flashback. I would have dressed in 80s gear, but yeah, all of my 80s gear went the way of the dodo in the 90s. So but I hope you enjoy the songs I've picked. I'm trying to give you a little bit of background here and there and a couple of interesting stories. And we are going to kick things off with something from Bertie Higgins. And I love this song. Wrapped around each other, trying so hard to stay warm. That first cold winter together, lying in each other's arms, watching those old movies, falling in love so desperately. Honey, I was your hero, and you were my leading lady. We had it all, just like Bogey and Bacall, starring in our own late, late show, sailing away to Key Largo. Here's looking at you, kid. I'm missing all the things we did. We can find it once again, I know, just like they did in Key Largo. Honey, can't you remember playing all the parts, that sweet scene of surrender, when you gave me your heart? Please say you will play it again, 'cause I love you still. And baby, this can't be the end. We had it all, just like Bogey and Bacall, starring in our own late, late show, and sailing away to Key Largo. Here's looking at you, kid. I'm missing all the things we did. We could find it once again, I know, just like they did in Key Largo. We had it all, just like Bogey and Bacall, starring in our own late, late show, sailing away to Key Largo. Here's looking at you, kid. I'm missing all the things we did. Key Largo, Bertie Higgins. I love that song, and I love old black and white movies. There's something about watching movies or even TV shows like from the 50s and 60s in black and white that just I don't know, for me they have a different feel. And I loathe when they colorize like episodes of I Love Lucy or episodes from the first season of Gilligan's Island. No, stop. Just don't be coloring that stuff. And don't even think about coloring something like the original Twilight Zone. That would just totally ruin everything. So, that song was from 1981. And I was but a young thing, but a young child. I will say, for those of you who may not be aware, I'm here in the California desert, where it is 117 degrees outside my bathroom window here. Just 2 days ago, we matched a record, 123. And so that is the reason why, for the first time ever in one of these Tunes and Talk, I did not turn off my air conditioner to do this recording, because it is just too darn hot, okay? So if you hear that buzzing, humming, whatever in the back, deal with it. Because there's no AC circulating here in my bathroom as it is. I'm depending on it creeping in from the rest of my apartment. So yeah, if that noise is distracting, well, there are other YouTube channels where guys that live in cooler places don't have their ACs running. This next song is from 1984, and it was recorded by the Alan Parsons Project, and it was the song that had the music video that was the first music video I ever saw, and it was a combination cartoon and claymation video called The Adventures of Nick and Sugar, and it was set to this song. It was done like a 1940s detective type movie. It was a great video. You can probably still find it on YouTube, but the song's called Don't Answer Me. And that's not it. Oh, that's the other thing. I am not technologically inclined, so don't expect miracles.
If you believe in the power of magic, I can change your mind. And if you need to believe in someone, turn and look behind. When we were living in a dream world, clouds got in our way. We gave it up in a moment of madness and threw it all away. Don't answer me, don't break the silence, don't let me win. Don't answer me, stay on your island, don't let me in. Run away and hide from everyone. Can you change the things we said and done? If you believe in the power of magic, it's all a fantasy. And if you need to believe in someone, just pretend it's me. It ain't enough that we meet as strangers. I can set you free. So turn your back forever on what you mean to me. Don't answer me, don't break the silence, don't let me win. Don't answer me, stay on your island, don't let me in. Run away and hide from everyone. Can you change the things we said and done? break the silence, don't let me win. Don't answer me, stay on your island, don't let me in. Run away and hide from everyone. Don't answer me, don't break the silence, don't let me win. Don't answer me, stay on your island, don't let me in. Run away and hide from everyone. Don't answer me, don't let me win. Just stay on your island, don't let me in.
Don't Answer Me, the Alan Parsons Project, who was also famous for recording I Am Your Eye in the Sky. You remember that song? And Time Flowing Like a River. Great song. And numerous other hits, including a really great instrumental called The Gold Bug, which coincidentally is the name of an Edgar Allan Poe short story. See, I am a warehouse, a veritable storehouse of useless trivia. Mine like a steel trap. As I mentioned, I am not very technologically inclined, and this is one reason that I loved the 1970s and 1980s, because it was the era of plug and play. Do you know what plug and play is? No, it's not a sexual activity. It's not a sex game. It sounds like one, but it's not. Plug and play was when you could buy the latest state-of-the-art, cutting-edge, electronic, technical device, equipment, toy, whatever, plug it in, boom, turn it on, it was ready to go. You didn't have to set up an account, you didn't have to create a login or a username, you didn't need a password, you didn't have to accept terms and conditions, you didn't have to agree to a privacy policy, you didn't have to register the item unless you wanted to, which just involved filling out an actual real postcard and sending it in the US mail. You didn't have to do any of that crap, any of that ridiculous garbage that we have to do today for everything. You know, you buy a new device and you're so excited, I can't wait to get home and use this. Yeah, 48 hours, you're still not using it because it was just all too much to deal with trying to get it set up. I'll do it later, right? Plug and play was a beautiful thing. Speaking of playing, this next song was recorded by country singer Sylvia. It was a huge, huge monster hit for her. I've got to adjust the volume here a little bit for this because it's a loud track. Huge hit for her in 1982, and it is one of those quintessential somebody is cheating on somebody else songs.
Sitting in a restaurant, he walked by. I seem to recall that certain look in your eye. I said, who's that? You said with a smile, oh, it's nobody, nobody. Well, maybe that explains the last 2 weeks. You called me up, dead on your feet, working late again. I asked who it, you said nobody, nobody. Your nobody called today. He hung up when I asked his name. Now I wonder, does he think he's being played? clever. You say nobody's after you. The fact is what you say is true, but I can love you like nobody can. Even better. Late last night, we went for a drive. You were miles away. I asked who's on your mind. You said nobody. Why do you ask? Well, it's him again. I could have told you that. We came back home, got ready for bed. Said to myself, I've got one shot left. You're still mine, and I won't stand in line behind nobody, nobody. You're nobody called today. He hung up when I asked his name. Now I wonder, did he think he was being clever? And you're nobody's after you. The fact, well, that's what's true. But I can love you like nobody can. Even better. Well, you're nobody, he called today. And he hung up when I asked his name. Now I wonder, does he think he's being clever? You say nobody's after you. Well, the fact is what you say is true. But I can love you like nobody can. Even better. You're nobody called today, and he hung up when I asked his name. Now I wonder, does he think he's being clever? And you say nobody's after you. Well, the fact is what you say is true, but I can love you like nobody can. Even better. That's right. I can love you even better. Snap when you say that. Usually I have some hot throat coat tea that I drink during this. Today I'm doing it iced. For obvious reasons. I have a little makeshift fan in here if the mercury gets a little too high. Oh, that feels divine. You know, I was talking about the era of plug and play. The one exception, the only exception to the 80s plug and play rule was if you were lucky enough, and you had to be pretty darn lucky in the suburb where I grew up, to get a VCR. Oh my God, if you got a VCR, you were really uptown then. You were the envy of everybody on the block. And it was pretty much plug and play except for two things. Number one, you had to figure out how to set the clock. And believe me, that was harder than it sounds. And if you actually wanted to record something, especially if you wanted to record something on one channel while you were watching something on another channel, that took a bit of doing as to how to figure that out. You had to make sure your TV was on channel 3, but your cable box was on a different channel. Yeah. So that was a little bit of a hurdle. And you know, I think that was probably the beginning of the end of the plug and play era, that glorious plug and play era. Oh, the VCRs, you know, crashed and burned it all right there for us. And I remember when my dad got our family's first VCR. He got it at Sears. It cost $400.
plus tax. Because now you can get a DVD player at Walmart for 30 bucks. Our first VCR, VHS VCR, $400, and it had a wired remote. Now, for those of you who are not of the age to even know what a wired remote is, basically it means it was like this microphone. This would have been the remote control to the VCR, and it had this long, skinny wired cord that you stretched all the way across the living room floor and plugged into the VCR, so you could fast forward and rewind and play until, of course, somebody inevitably walked through the living room and accidentally got their foot tangled in the cord and jerked it right out of the VCR, and then you had to get up and go plug it in again. So, good times. Next up. What is next up? Let's see. Oh, I love this song. One of the trademark movies of the 1980s, Oscar nominated for Best Picture. And believe me, that was a year when there was a lot of competition. It was like An Officer and a Gentleman, Tootsie, which I think should have won the Academy Award, Gandhi, which did win the Academy Award, and E.T., the Extraterrestrial, E.T., oh no. And this song was written for that movie and Oscar nominated. I don't remember what the song won that year, but this was definitely nominated. And was written and performed by Neil Diamond, along with co-writers Burt Bacharach and Carol Bayer Sager. So how could they miss? How could you not have a terrific song about a boy and his aliens so far from home? It's called Heartlight.
Come back again. I want you to stay next time. 'Cause sometimes the world ain't kind when people get lost like you and me. Just made a friend. A friend is someone you need. Now that he had to go away, I still hear the words that he might say. Turn on your heart lights, let it shine wherever you go. Let it make a happy glow for all the world to see. Turn on your heart lights in the middle of a young boy's dream. Don't wake me up too soon. Gonna take a ride across the moon, you and me. He's looking for a home. 'Cause everyone needs a place. And home's the most excellent place of all. And I'll be right here if you should call me. Turn on your heart lights, let it shine wherever you go. Let it make a happy glow for all the world to see. Turn on your heart light in the middle of a young boy's dream. Don't wake me up too soon. Gonna take a across the moon, you and me. Turn on your heart light, let it shine wherever you go. Let it make a happy glow for all the world to see. Turn on your heart light in the middle of a young boy's dream. Don't wake me up too soon. Gonna take a ride across the moon, you and me. Turn on your heart light now. Turn on your heart light now.
Heart Light. Neil Diamond from the motion picture E.T., 1982. God, can you believe? Little Henry Thomas, who played Elliot, is now quite the grown man with a family of his own. And little Drew Barrymore, right? Alligators in the sewers. You know, now she's, grown up, battled her way back from addiction, married, divorced, has a couple of kids, a couple of dogs, and a very successful afternoon talk show. So, and is, not only an actress, but also a producer in Hollywood as well. Time flies, things change. Now this next song, you may hear it and think, wait a sec, that's not an 80s song. That was like an early 90s song. Well, here's the story. No, not of a lovely lady and a man named Brady, but no, here's the story of it is a story of a lovely lady named Brenda Russell, who is one of my favorite singer-songwriters ever. And in 1988, she released an album. And the first single from that album was a monster hit for her. It was called Piano in the Dark. Perhaps you've heard it. And this song was the follow-up single released, and it's the title track from that album. And I love Brenda's rendition. It's very beautiful. It's very quiet. It has a little bit of an ethereal quality to it. And it was what they refer to as a modest hit, but didn't get anywhere near the success that Piano in the Dark had. Well, about two and a half years later, about 2 years later, I guess, around 1990, a singer named Oleta Adams, who you probably heard of, was visiting Stockholm, Sweden. And she walked into a record store, right, the music store. And she's in there browsing the, CDs and whatever, and all of a sudden, this song comes on the music system, the store's in-house music system. And she stops and starts listening to it and says, wow, that is a great song, I think I might want to record that. And she did. And it became like huge hit for Oleta Adams, and her signature song, as a matter of fact. One of the reasons that it became such a such a hit song, is because of what was happening at the time, the Gulf War, and people over in the African desert in the Middle East, and soldiers and troops and people putting yellow ribbons on their cars and doors, hoping to get our troops home safely. And the lyrics of this song talk about, you can reach me like an Arab man, crossed the desert like an Arab man. So that resonated with people at that time. So here is Get Here. I don't have Brenda's arrangement, but I do have Olita's. And since it was still originally written in the 80s, 88, that's what we're going with. If my music player. No. Here we go. I'm not quite a Luddite, just almost. You can reach me by railway. You can reach me by trailway. You can reach me on an airplane. You can reach me with your mind. You can reach me by caravan. Cross the desert like an Arab man. I don't care how you get here, just get here if you can. You can reach me by sailboat. Climb a tree and swing road to road. Take a sled and a slide down a slope into these arms of mine. You can jump on a speedy colt, cross the border in a blaze of hope. I don't care how you get here, just get here if you can. There are hills and mountains between us, always something to get over. If I had my way, surely you would be closer. I need you closer. There are hills and mountains between us, always something to get over. But if I had my way, surely you would be closer. I need you closer. You can windsurf into my life. Take me up on a carpet ride. You can make it in a big balloon, but you better make it soon. You can reach me by caravan. Cross the desert like an Arab man. I don't care how you get here, just get here if you can. I need you right here, right now. I need you right by my side. Get here. I don't care how you get here, just get here. You can. Get Here from 1988. Recorded and written by Brenda Russell, and then later popularized by the great Willie Adams. What were you doing in 1988? I was probably studying. As a kid, that's all I ever did. In school, I studied. I didn't have fun. School was not a fun experience for me. School was for studying. School was for maintaining those straight A's. You know, we all have, at least those of us of a certain age, and probably it's still true. If you've ever seen The Breakfast Club, we all have the Breakfast Club character that we identify with. Yeah, I was the Anthony Michael Hall straight A geek who his character landed in detention because he had brought a gun to school because he was going to commit suicide because he made a bad grade, and he knew that his parents could not have that, and he could not have that. And unfortunately, the gun went off in his locker. It wasn't a handgun, it was a flare gun, but, you know, still. Now, I was not dumb enough to bring a gun, flare or otherwise, to school, and I never ended up in detention, and the worst grade I ever made was a B plus, and believe me, I caught plenty of hell from that, from my parents over that, but doesn't mean they were bad parents. Good mom and dad, but yeah, all I ever did was study. School was not a fun experience for me. I love learning, but I just like doing it on my own terms, on my own time, with nobody standing there to grade me or degrade me. Next up, we have something brand new for me because, as you know, if you've watched any of these Tunes and Talk, I try to push myself out of my little circular comfort zone here. You got to step out of that circle sometimes to grow as a performer and to add to your repertoire. I've known some people who, like I would see at karaoke over the years, and when they got up to sing, you knew it was going to be one of 5 songs. It's like, really? Well, they've been coming to this karaoke place for 7 years. Yes, I know, and they've been singing the same 5 songs for those 7 years, and God love them. They sang them well, but I like to expand my repertoire and learn new songs. So this one, brand new for me. I bought the track years ago and never attempted it, never tried it, never did anything with it before now. And I'm going to have to use my little lyrics cheat sheet here. This was written by Al Jarreau, and gosh, who was the other writer? There was another writer on this with him. Forgive me, whoever you are, other writer. But I loved Al Jarreau. Such a cool dude. And this was the theme song for one of the most popular TV series in the 1980s, which starred Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis, and Alice Beasley as Mrs. DePesto, the office secretary for the Blue Moon Detective Agency. And I never watched that show, but I love the song. So here we go. I'm going to give this a shot for the first time ever, a world premiere for me.
Some walk by night, some fly by day. Nothing could change you, set and sure of the way. Charming and bright, laughing and gay. I'm just a stranger, love the blues and the grays. There are the sun and moon, they sing their own sweet tune. Watch them when dawn is new. sharing one space. Some walk by night, some fly by day. Some think it's sweeter when you meet along the way. Come walk the night, come fly by day. Some think it's sweeter, 'cause we met along the way. We'll walk the night, we'll fly by day. Moonlighting strangers who just met on the way, who just met on the way, who just met on the way.
Moonlighting, 1987. What were their names? Maddie something and David Addison, Sybil and Bruce. Moonlighting, the great Al Jarreau. I miss Al Jarreau. He was here in concert a couple of times in the first few years that I was living out here in the desert. And I always said, gosh, you know, I'd love to go see him. I should get a ticket and go see him. Oh, well, I have to work. You know, I didn't want to use up my vacation days. For me, I get so few vacation days. And every job I've ever had, just about, I've gotten so few vacation days. And they're like platinum. They're so valuable, you just save them. And then he died before I got a chance to see him. And I'm like, damn it, why didn't I go see him? Oh, well. This next song was from 1984, which was a huge, huge year for music. That was the year that Tina Turner recorded What's Love Got to Do With It? That was the year that Cyndi Lauper's She's So Unusual album was really, boom, hitting its stride, hitting the charts. That was just the year that saw all these people like Hall & Oates and Bruce Springsteen and Steve Perry leading Journey, all the people just chart topper after chart topper. Whitney Houston was there getting ready to hit the scene with her first album. It was a huge year for music. And this lady, this really, really exotic beauty who had been told, like so many other wonderful singers, including Anita Baker and Mickey Howard, that she couldn't sing. Well, she showed the world with her first album called Diamond Life, and this was a hit for Sade. And it's one of my favorite Sade songs ever.
Your love is king, round you in my heart, your love is king. Never needs to part, your kisses ring. Round and round and round my head, touching the very part of me that's making my soul sing, tearing the very heart of me, crying out for more. Your love is king. Round you in my heart, your love is king. You're the ruler of my heart, your kisses ring. Round and round and round my head, touching the very part of me that's making my soul sing. I'm crying out for more. Your love is king. I'm coming up. I'm coming. You're making me dance inside. Your love is king. Round you in my heart, your love is king. Never needs a card, your kisses ring. Round and round and round my head, touching the very part of me that's making my soul sing. I'm tearing the very heart of me, I'm crying out for more. Touching the very part of me that's making my soul sing. I'm crying out for more. Your love is king. This is no blind faith. This is no sad or sorry dream. This is no blind faith. Your love is real. Gotta ground you with my heart. Your love is king. Never need to call or touch me. Your love is king, and I'm never letting go. Your love is king. I actually did know the words to that, but it's like sometimes those verses in that song get turned around. It's like, let me use my cheat sheet just to be sure. I don't want to screw up a Sade song. This next song was actually a hit twice in the 80s. The first time, let me make sure I have my date correct here. Again, 1984. Did I say that was a great year for music or what? And it was a hit for Anne Murray and Dave Loggins. Really, really a big hit for them as a duet. And then it was covered just about a year later, year and a half later, by Whitney Houston and Jermaine Jackson on Whitney Houston's debut album. And I've always loved this song. Oh, I just happen to think this track is so loud. That's the thing. If you're buying backtracks or karaoke tracks, just instrumental tracks, you really have to be careful because it's like no two tracks. You can have a billion tracks. No two tracks are recorded at the same volume. So you can be listening to tracks and all of a sudden one comes that'll like blow your ears right off the side of your head. So let's see if I've got the volume right on this. Like a candle burning bright. Love is glowing in your eyes, a flame to light our way that burns brighter every day. Since I found you, nobody loves me like you do. Like a leaf upon the wind, I could find no place to land. I dream the hours away and wonder every day, do dreams come true? Nobody loves me like you do. What if I never met you? Where would I be right now? It's funny how life just falls in place somehow. Touch my heart in places that I never even knew. Nobody loves me like you do. I was words without a tune. I was a song still unsung, a poem with no rhyme, a dancer out of time. But now there's you. Nobody loves me like you do. What if I never met you? Where would I be right now? It's funny how life just falls in place somehow. You touch my heart in places that I never even knew. Nobody loves me. Nobody loves me. Nobody loves me like you do. Nobody loves me like you do. No one but you. Nobody loves me like you do. Great song. Do you have someone in your life like that? Nobody loves you like that person. Of course, that could be a bad thing. Nobody smothers me like you do. Nobody asphyxiates and sucks the life right out of me like you do. No, it's a good thing to have somebody that loves you in a beautiful way. There is a great song attached to this, a great story attached to this next song. I love stories. I'm a writer. I'm a storyteller. It's part of why I love songs that tell stories. But this next song was a huge hit for Billy Ocean, and I love Billy Ocean. You talk about the quintessential hit maker from the 80s. Oh my God. Caribbean Queen, Love Zone, Mystery Lady, just suddenly time after time, he would release a song and boom, it would go right to the top of the charts. Really love Billy Ocean. And this song was a follow-up to his song Suddenly, which was also a huge hit. And the story goes that
the songwriter was married, and he and his wife had this friend, right, who had broken up with her boyfriend and had gotten together with a new boyfriend. And so the new boyfriend was throwing a party, and his girlfriend was at this party, right? And all of a sudden, as they were playing music at the party, somebody put on Billy Ocean's song Suddenly, and his girlfriend just started to cry. And even though, you know, that relationship was over and she had left that old boyfriend behind, she was happily with the new boyfriend, that song, that beautiful, sad love song, suddenly could still make her cry. And that was said to be the inspiration for this song. Sometimes I wonder, by the look in your eyes, when I'm standing beside you, there's a fever burning deep inside. Is there another in your memory? And do you think of that someone when you hear that special melody? I always stop and think of you, especially when the words of a love song touch the very heart of me. There'll be sad songs to make you cry. Love songs often do. They can touch the heart of someone new, saying I love you. I often wonder how it could be, you loving me, two hearts in perfect harmony. I'll count the hours until that day the rhapsody plays, a melody for you and me. Until that moment that you give your love to me, you're the one I'll care for, the one that I would wait for. There'll be sad songs to make you cry. Love songs often do. They can touch the heart of someone new, saying I love you. You're my desire, and you take me higher. My love is like a river running so deep. And I always stop and think of you, especially when the words of a love song touch the very heart of me. There'll be sad songs to make you cry. You know love songs often do. They can touch the heart of someone new, saying I love you. Oh, there'll be sad songs make you cry. Love songs often do. They can touch the heart of someone new, saying I love you. I love you. From 1986, There'll Be Sad Songs to Make You Cry. We got one song left, one leaf on the tree in the 80s, before I wrap it up and shut it down. And it's something I more or less mentioned a moment ago. It's my favorite song by the fabulous Miss Cyndi Lauper, who is still writing and recording and touring and doing a boatload of philanthropic work, especially for the LGBTQ community, which obviously is very near and dear to my heart. She set up the True Colors Foundation, which helps give shelter to young kids, teens who have been thrown out of their homes by their despicable families who disown them just because of the fact that they were born LGBT. And, you know, Cyndi really has been such a champion for LGBTQ causes, and God bless her and God love her. I think she is an amazing individual. She's in her 60s now and still just like a fireball, and you know, has won Tony Awards, of course, for like Kinky Boots, Grammy Awards, and I just say, Cyndi, long may your talent reign. From 1984. This was a #1 hit just a couple of weeks ago in 1984.
Lying in my bed, I hear the clock tick and think of you. Caught up in circles, confusion is nothing new. Flashbacks, warm nights, almost left behind. Suitcase of memories, time after sometimes you'll picture me. I'm walking too far ahead, you're calling to me. I can't hear what you've said. Then you say, go slow, I fall behind. The second hand unwinds. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time, if you fall, I will catch you, I'll be waiting. Time after time, if you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time, if you fall, I will catch you, I will be waiting. Time after time. After my picture fades and darkness has turned to gray, watching through windows, you're wondering if I'm okay. Secrets stolen from deep inside. The drum beats out of time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time, if you fall, I will catch you, I'll be waiting. Time after time. You say, go slow, I fall behind. The second hand unwinds. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time, if you fall, I will catch you, I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you, I will be waiting. Time after time. 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 Time after time, Cyndi Lauper. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of this 80s flashback edition of Tunes and Talk. I hope you've enjoyed it. And I hope you have a terrific week ahead. We're almost out of this Mercury retrograde period. Yay! And stay safe, take care of yourselves. We'll do it all again next time. Love you guys.